Welcome to Van Lathan's The Red Pill, where we give you the brutal reality of truth. Today's guest is a major voice in the hip-hop industries, Brian B.Dot Miller, one half of the Rap Radar podcast on Tidal. Now, these guys, B.Dot and Elliot and B.Dot, you know what? It's B.Dot and Elliot today because it's B.Dot that's on the red pill. These guys are moving culture in a major way. Some of the biggest interviews, some of the most impactful conversations being had in hip-hop are happening on the Rap Radar podcast. We talk a little bit, me and B.Dot, about what it's like to interview guys like Will Smith and Jay-Z, luminaries of sort of that weight in the culture, not just in rap culture, but in pop culture, in the history of pop culture. When we talk about Will Smith and Jay-Z, come on, man, you out of here. How he deals with the challenges of being a voice in hip-hop, mainly dealing with rappers. If you're listening to this and you're a rapper, you're probably sensitive about your music, about your history, and about your persona. And a guy like B.Dot has to give objective criticisms on rap while dealing with rappers, which, y'all, that's hard. That's incredibly hard. We're going to talk about some of the issues that he's run into in being that guy and being in close proximity with these guys. We're also going to talk about some of B.Dot's political beliefs, or not just political beliefs, I'd say, some of his sort of theories on the world. He's conservative, and I did not know that B.Dot was conservative until I saw him dissing black liberals on Twitter. I myself am very liberal, so I just want to talk a little bit about how B.Dot sees the world besides hip-hop, besides anything that has to do with the arts or culture. What B.Dot thinks is the best way to actually make change in our society. He's a very thoughtful and intelligent brother and was very interesting on that. And our personal question I have to ask any hip-hop insider who comes on the show is, what the fuck is going on with Jay Electronica, my favorite rapper ever? Are we ever going to get the full-length classic that we want from Jay Electronica? I asked B.Dot about it. It's not the answer I hoped to get, but it was still a great one. I really enjoyed talking to this brother. He is a friend of mine, a homie, somebody I respect a lot. So pop some pills and get into this. Before we do go to the B.Dot podcast, I want to say something real quick. My sister is gay. Okay? My sister is a lesbian. Now, if you know anything about me or follow me or my sister on social media, you'll know that I take great glee in the fact that my sister is a lesbian. I am a rambunctious, sort of mischievous younger brother, and I like to poke fun at my sister, not poke fun at her lifestyle or her sexual orientation, just joke with her in a way that I feel like makes everybody comfortable, because when we're all joking on each other, we're all having fun with one another. However, I take the freedom of movement, the freedom of expression, and the freedom of life of my sister and the LGBT community very seriously, because I've watched firsthand a very strong, beautiful, intelligent, fierce woman come to terms with who she really is. And I know for her, it hasn't always been easy. It hasn't always been easy to express her truth and live her truth to others. It hasn't always been easy to live that truth to my parents or to others in our community. We are from, I'll say it again, Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And so issues like what's going on right now with Kevin Hart strike me in a lot of different ways. They strike me in the way that we have to make society a safe place for people to be who they are. There's no compromising in that. There's no compromising in that. We have to make society a safe place for people to be who they are. At the same time, not everyone is going to be of the same mindset of what those safe spaces look like at the same time all the time. There are some people who are going to be born being completely understanding of what everyone else is going through, always saying the right things, always doing the right things. There are going to be some people who are never going to care about your experience, your oppression, and your freedom ever. No matter what you say to them, they'll never get it. But then there's a third type of person. There's the person that starts off one way and then ends up another way on either side of that. Either starts off getting it, gets around the wrong crowd, and then doesn't get it, or starts off not getting it, then gets with the right crowd and begins to get it. We have to allow those people in the middle to change. We have to. There's no we should, we have to. And no matter what about your past stays static, you should never have to stay static with it. If you said something or did something and you put it down on tape and you've learned through experiences or through proximity to people or through sort of looking into yourself that how you felt or how you looked at something was wrong, we owe it to the mission of a better society, the mission of a better America, the mission of a better community to allow those people to change. That doesn't mean that we take consequence from them. Consequence is an essential component to change. You have to feel the wrong before you enjoy the right. You have to get tapped on the jaw for what it is that you did wrong. I firmly believe that. But once that has happened, and once this person has put in the work and done the work, because remember, love and apologies, it's all work. It's about the work that you do. Once that work has happened, we have to stop holding people not accountable, but we have to stop holding people hostage for transgressions in the past. I'll leave it up for everyone to decide whether or not they believe that people can really change. I do believe that people can really change. I'll leave it up to the individual to decide whether or not they think that time is change or whether or not they think that action is change. I'll leave the metric of change up to you. But if you feel confident that someone has become a different person, it's completely okay to say you're cool on the past. Now, do I believe that Kevin Hart's changed from the guy that he was when he leveled off those ridiculously insensitive and homophobic tweets? I can say that I have an inkling that he's changed. I know a lot of people who know him. I haven't seen him dip his toe back into those waters. I can't speak to the man's heart, but I think we all feel like Kevin Hart is a good guy. But what I will say is it's not even specifically about him as much as it is about the fact that as soon as you get to a point to where everyone's looking at you, people have to go back 10 years and drudge up things from the past and look to sort of convict you on crimes that have outlasted the statute of limitations. I don't understand how we're going to have any type of situation where we want evolution if that's the standard. If the standard is once you've said something, it's there forever, then I'm not understanding how we're going to get to a place to where we're developing good and open-minded people. I just don't think, I don't understand how it works. You know, we talk about situations in the community all the time with young brothers and sisters that find themselves in bad situations and find themselves in bad situations legally, and they've committed crimes, and we go, listen, you know, people grow, people change. Michael Vick, not to drag him into this, executed a bunch of dogs. Animal cruelty. People grow, people change. All of these things. People grow, people change. You see the difference in them. They exude it. So I just want to make sure that everybody is open to the idea that you don't always have to stay the same person. Now, to anyone that's from the LGBT community that might be listening to this and feeling like I'm defending anyone, first of all, I want to wrap my arms around you right now and say that that's not what I'm doing. I understand that you guys have been in rooms with people and sometimes had to hide your truth and sometimes been just ridiculously scared, and there's been, a psychological tax that's been on you, and there's been an emotional tax, and sometimes even a spiritual tax that's been on you. What I'm saying is not that any of you have to forgive anyone who's ever put out bad feelings about you. You never do. You're in the fight. You're right there. You're in the middle. What I'm saying is, for the rest of us, we're going to have to try. Because I'm going to be honest with you. There are certain things that people have said racially that it's hard for me to believe that they've changed. Hulk Hogan said he didn't want his daughter bringing a nigger home into his house. And he said it when he thought nobody else could hear him. He was speaking his true heart. That was like 5 or 6 years ago. Hulk got to go volunteer for the NAACP in the middle of Detroit. I got to see Hulk in Compton, in South Baton Rouge, in Richmond, Virginia, in Gary, Indiana. Hulk got to show Hulk just can't like black people. Hulk got to show now that he loves black people. I need Hulk at the Kwanzaa celebration, okay? I need Hulk seriously making a post on George Washington Carver's birthday, celebrating this brother who invented the peanut butter so that all y'all could have y'all PB&J sandwiches. I need Hulk leading the Martin Luther King Jr. parade down here. You know where it happens, man. We like to Harvey be making us work, so I get to go to the parade. That's another good podcast conversation. Hulk got to do a lot. He's got to do a lot, and I don't think that he's done it. I don't think he cares to do it, but I guess the question would be for me is, once the work has been done, and that was hard for me, man. I was a hero of mine growing up. Man, Hulk got to come to the BET Awards. Hulk don't have to just come to the BET Awards. Hulk got to be the janitor. Hulk has to serve 2 Chainz peanuts all BET Awards long for me to believe that it's. I don't want my daughter. I'm getting off on a tangent. Listen, so I get the feeling, but I just want to make sure that when people are trying to be different and trying to grow, that we're willing to engage the new them. Please, engage the new me. Engage the new you. Look around at your neighbors and the people that you share your community with. The guy that was the skinhead might not always be the skinhead. I know a guy right now going around the world right now preaching against hate groups that was a skinhead for 10 years. He's seen the error of his ways. He was young. The girl that you know, that you went to high school with, that used to go in Dillard's and Macy's and steal. She might not be still stealing today. She might have a family and stuff like that. People change. People grow. I'm saying you don't ever have to forgive Kevin Hart, but respect the process of growth and evolution. It's not about him. It's about us and who we start off as and who we can eventually be. That's enough of me on my fucking soapbox. I don't know what's going to happen with the Oscars. All I know is that Black Panther better win Best Picture, and Hulk Hogan better vote for Black Panther to win Best Picture. Hulk, you got a lot of work to do, dog. All right, let's get to B.Dot, man. Talk some hip-hop and some conservative bullshit. Peace.
Epic.
You work at Epic?
Yeah. Epic Records.
Now, I never knew that you worked at Epic. Wait. You work at Epic?
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I don't know what y'all niggas be doing. I'm serious. Like, shout out to all my homies from New York. I really don't know. Like, Cass has a million jobs.
He's Nigerian.
He's Nigerian, right? Cass has a million jobs.
It's his DNA.
So I don't really know what Rory does. I know that he's successful as a podcaster. I had Maul on the podcast. Shout out to Maul. I didn't get a chance to ask Maul who paid when Maul gets a check. What name is on the check? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I don't really know. So I didn't know that you worked. What do you do over at Epic?
What do I do at Epic? A little bit of we recording?
Yeah.
Oh shit! I didn't know we was on.
Yeah. I mean, hold on, before we get white people clap for B.Dot. Yeah. All right. Big deal here in hip hop. One of the, I would say, a top tier hip hop tastemaker.
Top tier?
Top tier rap, co-host of the Rap Radar podcast.
I'm somewhere up there. Yep.
Yeah, you would have to be. Well, when I say top tier, I mean, shout out to some of the guests that we've had on here. Everybody that has graced that seat. We've had some amazing guests, but we're talking about like Hove, Will Smith.
Yeah, it's been a good year.
Yeah, it's heavy, like legendary status. Before we get to that though, tell me about I don't know what's going on at Epic. Is it secret? Can you talk about what do you do at Epic?
I've been at Epic for about a year and a half now. I work under the sales department, but we do a little bit of everything, which is like A&R and marketing, playlists, stuff like that. So what I do is I help curate playlists and get playlist positioning. So I'm kind of like what the radio people do, but for playlists.
So accepting that Ola, huh? Getting that Ola. They're giving B.Dot that Ola to get their songs out there, huh?
Per diem.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Right. So let's get into a little bit about the crazy run that you and Elliot on, man. We're Rap Radar Podcast, how a lot of people know you guys from Tidal.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. Like, of all the guests you've had, we talked about Will, we talked about Hove. Mm-hmm. Was there any one point where you was like, yo, man, I can't believe I'm sitting here talking to this person?
It's like that all the time for every guest, but I think the Will was the most crazy.
Because y'all flew out for that one.
We flew out there. We went to Budapest, Hungary.
Flown out.
I ain't never been to Eastern Europe.
Yeah.
So that was my first time ever going out there, and seeing Will, when he walks in the room, it's like, yo, that's Will Smith. Like,
word.
It's like,
yeah,
it's the Fresh Prince, you know, so it's kind of surreal. And he's like exactly who you think he is. Nice guy. He knows where all the bodies are buried. You know what I mean?
Of course
like,
he does. Yeah.
So he's exactly who you think he is. I like him a lot. But that was a surreal experience, man. Just talking to someone you grew up watching, and now you're sharing stories, talking off camera. Like it's still surreal. I don't believe it.
How does something like that happen? Do you guys reach out to Will? Does he reach out to y'all? It's on Tidal, so does Hove make the call? Like, how does that work?
Well, that situation happened because it was a Jay-Z connection. So what happened was we've been trying to get him for a long time. Obviously, they're cool. And Jay put the word in, the bug in. But Will's a busy guy, but we still had to work for it. So this was like a year in the making. We had to send him old clips. He watched all the other interviews, and he was like, "Oh, let me talk to these guys." So it worked out for us.
So even off of the strength of the whole situation, Will still wanted to vet it and make sure that it was something he was into. Yeah.
Even with Jay, when we interviewed him, it took like a year and a half. It actually took like 100 episodes for us to even get to Jay. Like it was.
And y'all on his platform.
Exactly. He don't do interviews, you know.
Right. So and that interview was one of the more eye-opening ones. I remember, me and you. We did several different clips from that interview here at TMZ.
Shout out to you guys, man. Y'all helped us out, man, for that one.
I mean, the reality is that it was all newsworthy, man. Whenever guys like that talk, it is something you really have to pay attention to and make sure that people get the big clips. Now, when you're talking to these guys, is there ever any intimidation factor because of the fact that these are dudes you've looked up to for so long?
Nah, if anything, it's inspiring. Like, it's just, you can't go in there showing that you're scared or you're nervous or, you can't show you're sweating, man. Like, I'm never intimidated. I'm kind of nervous a little bit because it's like you want to say the right things and you don't want to overtalk or double speak. But for the most part, I'm pretty confident when I'm going into doing a big interview. Now,
I was intimidated once.
Who?
Jay Prince.
Jay Prince? Why?
Cause, man, it's like,
try to kill you?
Austin knows. Austin was scared, but see, Austin's white, so he's gonna be scared of Jay Prince. You know what I mean? But me, Jay Prince came in here with a tactical team around him.
Oh,
man. Yeah, Jay Prince. I mean, Jay Prince was deep,
like 6, 7 people.
And I'm already like I'm from Louisiana, so in my mind, Jay Prince is a deity, right? So it's already that type of deal. And then when he came in with the whole with the whole rap a lot nation situation. I was like, okay, this nigga not fucking around.
He was who you thought he was.
Most certainly. And I remember I asked him a question and I tried to press him and he goes, I said what I said. I was like, all right. I'm like, okay.
Next question.
Yeah, Mr. Brent. Yeah, I ain't trying to get my fucking chain snatched outside the goddamn. But yeah, so with you and Elliot and everything, first of all, take me back a little bit because, as being into the culture, obviously Rap Radar and what you and Elliot have been doing, I'm very familiar with it. But how did you, for kids that want to be B.Dot, that look up to you.
People look up to me?
They got to be somebody, nigga. Like, how would they, if someone wanted to be B.Dot, how would they become B.Dot?
Shit, man. If you got 14, 15 years to spare, you know what I'm saying? That's how it becomes. People look at me as think it's an overnight
yeah, because it seems like y'all so big right now that like they don't see the grind that it took.
Yeah, people see the glory, don't know the story. But, it takes a while, man. Like, I think in this day and age, it's a little bit easier to get on. You can put yourself on, you know what I mean? Like, you have, as long as you got Instagram and some Wi-Fi and a Twitter handle, you could put yourself on, man. Just being around and being present, I think, is enough to kind of make it in the game. Yeah, it's gonna take a while. You got to get your connections up and things like that. But for the most part, I feel like it's easier than it's ever been.
Now, you deal with rappers.
Yeah, a lot of them.
A lot of rappers all the time.
Yeah.
What's the most annoying thing about dealing with rappers?
Them not showing up.
Them not showing up.
Word. Rappers canceling literally the last minute of doing interviews and things like that. We was going to do an interview with a very big rapper. Won't say his name, but it's only a handful of big rappers.
Right.
Okay, so do the process of elimination.
So when you say very big, it's only a even smaller handful of very big rappers.
Exactly. It's only like 5.
Right.
So narrow down. And we were going to do an interview. We had an elaborate venue. We flew out. We was everything.
Where was the interview taking place?
It was going to take place here in L.A.
In L.A.?
At L.A.
Okay.
I think we was going to do it at a musium or something like that.
Right. So it's Kanye West.
Yeah, okay.
We not stupid.
Nah. All I'm going to say is that
in a museum.
He or she.
Here in L.A. Yeah, right. So it's Kanye West.
It's not Kanye, but if it was Kanye, I would say it's not Kanye.
Okay.
But literally, we're supposed to do it, let's say, at 5 o'clock. At like 4:30, it got canceled. Like, we were on the way there. I'm excited. And then shit got canceled.
On the way.
On the way. Like, yo, what
you
we
said
supposed
he or
to do?
she.
He or she.
So it's Nicki then. Now we know. It's Nicki.
No, it wasn't Nicki.
It's Nicki. You don't ever get, I wasn't expecting you to say that. Is that a Rolex, B.Dot?
I hope so.
Oh my God. Yo, I gotta be honest with you, man.
What?
I'm sick of being broke in this motherfucker.
What are you talking
about? Fuck the
He drives
Tesla.
a Tesla?
Hey, chill.
Wow.
Hey, fuck that. What I'm saying is, this is why I'm telling you, this is why I'm saying this. Every motherfucker that's Tory Lanez stunning on me, Jay Prince stunning on me, Cap G stunning on me, everybody. What's Mikael Brooks stunning on me? He pulled up in a goddamn Phantom or a Ghost or something like that.
You got a Tesla though, man. A Tesla? Am I saying it right?
Tesla. Yeah,
Tesla.
But you don't even need a car. You live in New York.
I live in New York.
So I mean,
I do drive though.
You do?
Yeah, I drive.
You drive?
Yeah, I live in Queens, so you gotta get around. I don't do the bus or the subway no more, man.
I thought that was the whole point of living in New York.
Yeah, for some people, just not for me. I can't do that, man. Like,
what?
I can't.
So I was in New York when you gotta go into Manhattan.
Yeah, you were in New York. You didn't hit me, but it's okay.
I was there for like 2 seconds.
See, that's a cop. I was there for like 2 seconds.
I was there for like 2 seconds. You don't. So when you go into Manhattan, you drive around in Manhattan.
Sometimes, yeah. We validate the parking at Epic.
Okay. Oh, I feel you. Wow. So, it's funny you said that rappers not showing up to things is the most annoying thing. You don't ever get annoyed with the rappers themselves because they take themselves very seriously. Shout out to all my homies that's out there rapping right now. But I remember, I think it was last year, you gave your opinion on the now infamous debate of who the top 5 bad boy MCs were.
Right.
And this is something about how shit that goes on a group chat can actually start moving news. I mean, and so I guess Charlamagne had his whole situation.
Yeah.
He said Mace wasn't a top 5 bad boy MC.
Which is ridiculous.
It's a fucking stupid thing to say.
Right.
And so
he's biased though.
He's biased how?
Because him and Mace had some friction.
Yeah, they had
so,
whatever they had. Yeah. And then people were bringing up your top 5 list. Yeah. And you had, what was your top 5 again?
I said the top 5 in the Bad Boy era, of course, Biggie number 1. Number 2 was Jadakiss. Number 3, Mace. 4, Styles. 5, I think it was like G-Dep or Black Rob, and everyone else falls in.
And then you had, people were mad because you had Styles.
I had Styles under Mace.
Right.
Which I'm like, how is that? Why are you mad at that?
Right.
You know, so that just spilled into something else.
And then Styles said something.
He called me a dickhead on a record. He dissed me.
You lying. I never heard that. You lying. No, because he said, I saw he said, I would expect someone like B.Dot.
Yeah, I was like, I had your poster growing up. I bought your music. Then like 2 days later, I hear a record and he's like calling me a dickhead. I'm
what was the record? I didn't hear the record.
I forget the name of it. But it was like over someone else's beat. Yeah, I believe.
And he dissed you. That must be. But think about that.
It was subliminal.
But that's a badge of honor, though. To be this on a record by Styles. That's a badge of honor.
I grew up listening to him, and he called himself a gun bustologist. So it's like I don't want to go back and forth with Styles, right? Man. Come on.
So what I'm saying is though, like, that sensitivity sometimes, because everyone, no matter what discipline or genre that they're in, they're sensitive about their art.
Yeah.
But that in rap, that sensitivity sort of sometimes bleeds over into real personal insults and real bad blood. How do y'all walk that line, being objective and covering it?
I think for me, it's all about credibility. People know that. If you know me, you know I'm coming from an honest place. I'm not trying to be malice. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I think you can separate the art from the person. Yeah. You know, I try to focus solely on the art, and I think people can respect that. Yeah. Artists are sensitive, though. You know that.
They are, yeah, of course.
So I think, you just got to pick and choose your battles. You know, I'm not going to jump out the window and call someone out their name or...
Yeah, of course.
That's stupid. But I think you could just, again, tiptoe the line and just keep it respectful and focus mainly on the art.
Is there any rapper particularly that you think is maybe more sensitive than some of the other guys?
Oh, man. Every rapper is sensitive.
They are, aren't they?
All of them. I think they all, are in their feelings at times, It's hard.
It's a big... Rap is different than other sort of, I guess, musical expressions or musical art forms in that they bring so much of their personal persona and their personal sort of history in with it. So when you diss a guy's music, it's not like, if you say you don't like Goodfellas, right? Martin Scorsese doesn't feel like it's a personal shot.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He's like, maybe you would like Casino. But if you say you don't like this rapper's like album or this latest song he dropped, it's like you don't love my experience.
Right.
And
you could just say it's not for me.
Right.
That's what I usually say. Or I just I kind of like circle around it and just say, what I like or what I don't like, or how you can improve on that. And you got to be a fan of somebody. Like, I think it comes from credibility. Like, I don't want to hear Joe the Plumber talk about so-and-so's music. Like, you're not even a fucking fan of his records. Like,
it's true. There's so much music out there now that everybody likes everything. The one thing I will say that's really impressive about Drake to me is Drake is up on every new style, every new sound, the moment it hits. And I don't understand. Are you curating this playlist? Like, how is he how do you, is that ever a challenge for you? Like, being educated on every single new rapper that comes up. There's so many of these guys.
It's hard, man. Like, you just gotta ask a friend, man, because it's too much music coming down the pipeline for you to keep up. Someone like Drake, he's a chameleon, man. I don't know. Sometimes he's ahead of the curve, but he uses his celebrity and popularity as leverage. So if he likes something, of course he's gonna embrace it, get it even more hot, and he gets the credit for it.
Right.
So for him, it's a win-win. But
I got in a little trouble. I said on the podcast that Drake didn't have a classic.
Nah, you wrong for that.
What's Drake's
So
classic?
Far Gone. I think that's his classic recording. I don't think he has a classic album. I think...
I would agree with that. I would say that So Far Gone, being that So Far Gone is kind of more of like a mixtape.
Yeah, it's a mixtape.
So being that, although it has several dope-ass original songs on there, but I would say that's classic material.
That's classic material, yeah.
But when I think about like an album, like I don't think...
Nah, Drake don't got. I don't think he has the universal classic album. I think "Take Care" is his best album for him. You know,
it's a fantastic album.
Yeah, but I don't think that's a universal classic yet. I don't think he's made that yet.
Can you ever make the Mount Rushmore without a classic?
Yes, I think Drake is an exception to the rule.
Interesting.
I think Drake's already a top 10 of all time.
Without a doubt, I agree with that. Why? How did that exception come about?
Because his body of work. You ever been to a Drake show? He could be on stage for like 3 hours.
And never run out of hits.
He has so many hits. I don't think the only person competing with him on that level is probably Jay. I think it will go Jay, Drake, Kanye as far as hits. You don't even have to be a Drake fan to know Drake music.
Right.
And he has so much of it. Like, he doesn't need a fucking classic.
Yeah, I watched when Hove toured with Mayor J. Blige back in the day, which was a fantastic tour. He did this thing to where he bought a DJ booth, and ran through all of the songs that couldn't make it into the set. Like, I don't know if y'all ever saw that show. He did all of these songs like, I need to play this, and then he would put it on, the whole crowd would start rocking. He'd be like, nah, we ain't got time. And he did that for so long to where you're at a Jay-Z show, you're paying good money to see Jay-Z, and you're actually thinking, I've underappreciated Jay-Z because there's so many things he could have done, but he didn't do them.
Right.
So, like, do you think at this point, though, you know, we're talking about guys like Drake and Jay-Z, and we all have these top 10s.
Right.
Is it time for us to, first of all, is Jay-Z to you now on top of? Is he in the number 1 slot?
Jay, like, he's always going to be number 1. Like, he's always going to be forever hot. You know, like, you go to the Kennedy.
So better than Big, better than Pac.
Yeah.
Jay's over Big, over Pac.
Absolutely.
Right.
It ain't his fault that they died.
B.Dot, chill.
It's the truth.
So Jay-Z is the number 1 greatest rapper of all time.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. There's no.
We're going to put this podcast out after you leave LA because niggas going to freak out when they hear you.
I mean, but, like, look at the catalog. I mean, who are we? Look at the songs. Look at the catalog. Look at the impact. Like, there's not an artist better than Jay-Z. Like, he just put out that verse for Meek, right? What's Free? He's 49 years old.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he's put in perspective, he's just a year younger than Big Daddy Kane and Rakim.
That's crazy.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's crazy.
And people are still talking about, yo, you heard about this? You saw this line? Oh, Jay did. Like, he's still doing this. He's the first one to. He's like the first Indian over the hill. You know what I'm saying? In hip hop, we've never seen this before.
Yeah. You know what's crazy is I was having a conversation just recently about sort of why guys like Jay-Z continue to get better, and why some other guys, it seems like that they've plateaued in terms of their ability to connect and drop versus like what we got on What's Free. And I think a huge part of Jay-Z's him continuing to be that excellent is that his life has changed so much.
Yeah.
He's not still trying to be the guy, like, if he hasn't been boxed into being the same dude at 49 that he was at 30 or 35.
Yeah.
And a lot of guys, it used to seem like in the past, they were so happy to not change, while he's sort of courted his growth and evolution to a point. So he's rapping about things that might have always been on his mind, but that are paramount to him now. And it's just so dope to hear.
You know what's ill is, like, Jay is my favorite rapper, and if you think about it, Jay, he's had moments where he's been like the top guy, but for most of his career, he's always been like the number 2 guy. Like,
you think so?
In some capacities.
Like when was he the number 2 guy?
Like, for instance, like DMX in '98 was the hottest rapper in the world, right? Jay was hottest. He was just as hot, but DMX was hotter. But you know what I'm saying? Like Ja Rule, when Ja Rule's reign.
See, but I feel like you gotta rank those guys differently. Ja Rule was in a different lane.
No, but they were on the same label. They went on.
I know.
What I'm saying is that Jay just maintained his consistent. He was always consistent versus hot. You know what I mean? Like, hot is temporary. Those guys they're still around. They're doing their thing, but they're not what they once were. Jay has just managed to continue to sell.
Does it matter though that, like, It's Dark and Hell is Hot is a classic.
Right.
But does it matter that those guys weren't dropping classics and Jay-Z consistently was?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, so like Ja Rule might have been the hottest.
Right.
But he doesn't have a body of work like The Blueprint.
There you go.
He doesn't have a body of work even like The Blueprint 2, I would say. Which, by the way, speaking of Jay, Does Jay have a whack album?
To his standards, if you're competing with Jay albums, yeah. I mean, but if you take a Jay album, a whack Jay album, and put Fabulous on it, no disrespect to Fab, you know, is it a classic?
Yeah.
You know, I think you could take Jay's name off of certain albums and just replace it with another rapper. What would you say? You would call it a classic. Again, no disrespect to Fabulous, because I fuck with Fab.
Fab is great.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, it's MCs you could have named over Fab.
I'm just using. I'm thinking Brooklyn. I'm just thinking Brooklyn.
Right.
But yeah, I don't think he has a whack album.
Kingdom Come.
Again, that's one of those albums. I think.
By the way, went back and listened to it. Not as whack as we think.
It's not that bad. It's not that bad.
I'm telling you, it was because of the time that it came out. Okay, because of the time that it came out, and somebody told me go back and listen to it again. It's not really that whack, man. It's not that bad.
It's probably like about 4 songs on there I don't like, but there are songs that I really enjoy.
Yeah.
You know? So like that one song he did with Usher is terrible.
That's a bad song. Well, do you like that Hollywood song with him?
Oh, that's terrible.
I love that song.
Hollywood is terrible. What?
James Dean, down there, when they living alive. You know what?
Oh,
it's
man.
weird that Jay-Z and Beyonce, they came on the scene with a dope ass collaboration. Like her first solo single is a Jay-Z collaboration.
Right.
Then there was a little bit of a dark time of Jay-Z and Beyonce collaborations. Like I didn't really like the Deja Vu song.
Deja Vu's it's cool.
Yeah.
They still, you know.
It's all right.
It's all right, yeah.
And then they come back with the Upgrade You was dope. And
Upgrade You's fire.
Upgrade You was fire. And then really
Drunken Love is fire.
That's years later though.
Right.
And now they've perfected it to the point to where they put out a whole album that
Everything is Love.
You think is underrated.
Yeah. I think it's definitely one of the top 5 albums this year.
Give me your top 5 albums this year, because we had an argument about whether or not 2018 is a banner year for hip hop. Okay. So give me your
my
top
5. I'm gonna go to record and say Nipsey Hussle, Victory Lap is number 1.
It's number 1.
Number 2, I'm going to say I probably put the Carters.
The Carters is number 2.
Number 2.
Okay.
Number 3, Astro World. 4.
Astro World's so good, dog.
Yeah, I think that's Travis's best album.
Yeah.
I'm at 3. 4, I'll probably go Redemption, depending on the day. Number 5, Daytona.
Okay.
I switch, you know.
So you put the Carters.
That's a good album, man.
It is. So you put the Carters ahead of Daytona.
Yeah. It's a good album.
Fucking tough.
Did you hear Friends? That Jay-Z verse
I've heard
Friends?
it. Yeah, we ain't supposed to be friends.
Bro,
I
got me misty-eyed. I had to send my friend some commissary money, man. That's in jail. I'm like, yo, I wanted to call someone I had beef with.
Were you not really a fan of Daytona as much?
Daytona's good, but I know it's short, and so is Everything Is Love, but it's a good album. It's a great Pusha T album. Obviously his best one, but
I think so if we say the verse of the year is What's Free, right?
Yeah.
Jay's verse on What's Free.
What's Free.
I think the second verse of the year is Pusha's second verse on track 2. Was that The Games We Play, or what is it called? What's the joint?
You might have to.
I think you're right.
Is The Games We Play? Yeah, like that. This is for the mud-made monsters that grew up on legends without that nigga is slapping. You don't like him. That's sad.
I'm gonna have to get back to you on number 2 for verse of the year.
What else? Give me another B.Dot hip hop take where you go against the grain.
Shit, look at my Twitter timeline.
I want to see it. I want to see some of these going against the grain hip hop takes, because I'm gonna be honest with you. Jay-Z as the greatest rapper of all time. I don't think that that's going against the grain. I think we're going to get there, but a lot of people aren't willing to do that just yet.
Let me think. You talking about for this year or just in general?
Either.
I think for this year, I think the City Girls are probably one of the best. I think JT's one of the best new rappers of 2018.
Really?
She's nice. Did you hear that? Their first album, Period?
I didn't hear the first one. I heard the second one.
Period is way better. She's good.
So you say she's one of the best
of this, like emerging? Absolutely,
for sure.
I'm trying to give a controversial take that I always
don't have to give. It's not. Give it. It has to be honest.
Right. Everything is always It's always coming from an honest place. I'm trying to think of something. I'm drawing a blank. You put me on the spot. Let's get back to that one though.
You said 444 at one point was Jay-Z's best album.
I did say that?
Yeah, you said that. Nigga, you got so many hot takes in your brain, you don't even fucking remember what they were.
I probably did say it. I think Volume 2 is his best, but 444 is...
Volume 2 is Jay-Z's best album?
In my opinion, yeah. Volume 2 is a great album. You don't like Volume 2?
Of course
there's one track on Volume 2.
Wait.
Why are you laughing?
Wait, because you say Volume 2 is
Hard
Jay-Z's...
Knock Life.
I understand
yes.
Like you say that's Jay-Z's best album.
Yeah, to
so
me.
Volume 2 is better than The Blueprint.
Yeah.
It's better than the Black Album.
It's the album I listen to the most from Jay-Z. And you know what's
It's your favorite album.
It is my favorite, but I also
is it can't we make a distinction between your favorite and the best?
Yeah, but the reason why I say it's the best is because it's 20 years in, and you could probably go to a club tonight. They're probably going to play a cut from that song somewhere.
Right.
You know, like Jay's still performing songs from that album somewhere.
For sure.
And it still rings off 20 years later. What
to you makes a classic? You're a hip hop expert.
Impact. Chatter. Of course, the sonics, the lyricism. But I feel like Impact is what really makes a classic album. There's not too many instant classics. I feel like this is a hot take. I feel like Nipsey's Victory Lap is an instant classic.
I felt like that too.
I feel like
you
that.
hear it and you just know you're hearing some shit that's gonna be around forever.
I feel like I'm gonna listen to this, years from now. Kendrick Lamar, good kid. I think Kendrick. Oh, here's a good hot take. This is a. I feel like Drake, when it comes to three-headed monster like Drake, Kendrick, Cole. I feel like Kendrick makes better albums than Drake.
Sure.
But Drake is a better rapper than Kendrick.
Interesting.
Like, I feel like Kendrick is great. He's phenomenal. But Drake's bars have something stickiness about them. Like, they're quotable. They're like your status on fucking Facebook. Like, you could tweet them, you Instagram them. Like, Kendrick, to me, doesn't have that. Not to say there's anything wrong with that, because I love Kendrick.
Yeah.
But I just don't think he's a better rapper. I think if you put a beat on, I think Drake's going to give you more oohs and ahs than Kendrick.
will. You know what's crazy about that is I think there is a way... First of all, I think that it's very hard to be a better rapper than Kendrick Lamar just because of the depth of the things in which he raps about. Taking those concepts and putting them into bars is crazy. But there is a... When people ask me like what my favorite Drake verse is, it's never the verse that you think that it is because he raps about so many different things in a simplistic way that it's almost like you take whatever it affects you and then that's how Drake hits you the most. Like most people would say, yo, Stay Scheming is Drake's best verse or something like that. A lot of people say that. I think the Aston Martin music verse is the best verse, and it's because like I was when that dropped, and it's gonna sound mad soft, but we talking about Drake, so we could be soft. like when that dropped, I was out here in LA, like it was early on. I was away from all of my family and away from all of my friends, and this nigga goes, "Yo, I miss Memphis. My cousin's my dad, and the simplicity beauty that all of them Southerners have." And I'm like, shit, I miss Louisiana, man.
You crying in the Tesla?
I'm like, this nigga, I'm crying. Why am I crying in the club right now? I'm like, this nigga is talking to me. Like, that's and like, I imagine in that situation being like a girl. And how Drake must how he must get to these females when he's making songs for them to get ready and go out to. This is a song for you to get ready to. I imagine that because so I can see that. But Kendrick though, I think about Kendrick verses that I really love. I think about just the impact of the concepts, and I think sometimes I give him extra credit. And that's not saying that Kendrick Lamar cannot rap his ass off.
Kendrick is nice.
Like, nice.
He's nice.
Like, nice. But I can't say that I agree, but I do see what you're saying.
Kendrick is like Good Kid, Pimp a Butterfly, damn, like...
Section 80, bro.
Section 80,
and then the first joint, Overly Dedicated. Kendrick Lamar EP. Yeah, like all of those things, it's like, he's snapping on there. And on the... because he's got the song Rigor Mortis on that
That was on Section 80.
Yeah, it's on Section 80. You want to hear rapping. A lot of people don't remember that kid. When I heard ADHD, everybody out here thinks shit was buzzing about Kendrick Lamar. And then when I heard ADHD, I'm like, yo, he out of here.
Yeah.
Because that song it fucks with you so much.
Kendrick, he's another one, top 10 already.
Top 10 already. Who are the new guys? Is Cole top 10 already?
Not yet. And Cole is my guy, but not yet.
So Drake's there, Kendrick's there, Cole not quite there.
Not yet. Cole is emerging. He's going to be there. Yeah. But he's not there yet.
What does he need from you? What does he need to be in that top 10?
I think Cole needs a unanimous classic. I think he needs that.
You don't think he has one?
Nah, not yet.
Forest Hills?
Nah. I think, what's the second album? Born Sinner is his best album.
Boy, look at Austin. Austin loves that
Born
take
Sinner.
right there. I think Forest Hills is his best album. Yeah, I really do.
There's songs on there I like, but Born Sinner, like, I think he was in his bag with that one lyrically.
Volume 2, huh?
Volume 2. What's wrong? There's only one track on Volume 2 that sucks. That's the Foxy Brown Paper Chase record. But
I haven't listened to it in years.
Check it out. It's good.
Swore it off years ago.
It's good.
No. I'm talking about that record. I've listened to Volume. I listen to Volume 2 all the time.
Yeah.
Childish Gambino.
What about him?
Where do you fall on him?
He's getting better. I didn't used to like him. I felt like he was like a fake Kanye. I felt like he had too much Kanye influence early on with his music, but I feel like he's getting better. Like he's finally found his footing, I think. Like with the records like the
he can really rap.
Yeah, he can rap. He can freestyle really well.
Yeah.
But I felt he was just doing too much Kanye kind of inflections. I felt like Drake Kanye was too much of his inspirations.
You know the Cole fans gonna go crazy on you.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Cole's fans are different.
Cole fans
are different.
I love Cole too.
I love Cole too. Like Cole's fans are different.
It's crazy his success though. It still bugs me out.
How? What do you mean?
Because he used to go to St. John's, right? And I used to go to the barbershop across the street from St. John's.
St. John's like in New York?
Yeah, St. John's University.
Okay, yeah.
And the barbershop was the hangout. So, for years he would come in and we were always cool. And he would tell me he rapped and I was like, for real? Like, okay. And
this is wild.
This is like 2004, maybe 2005. And he told me he rapped and I was like, oh, okay, cool. But I just never put two and two together, Then fast forward, I remember the day he got signed. Fast forward, where we are now, and he's one of the biggest rappers in the game. It just trips me out. Like,
stay true to himself too.
Yeah, man.
Definitely stay true to himself.
Still got the same team, same girl. He wifed literally.
I'm gonna pivot away from rap in a second, but I want to ask you about one sort of type of rapper. Two guys I really respect and two of my favorite rappers.
Okay.
The Wale's and the Lupe Fiascos of the world. Wale is one of my favorite guys to listen to.
Wale is the most improved rapper of 2018.
Wale also is a good guy. I know that Wale gets a bad rap from y'all who have never been around Wale. And I'm not going to act like I've been around Wale a ton. But when I was around him, it was just, I met him in the back prior to any whatever of my come up or whatever. I met Wale on the basketball court, him and his mans, and we was just all in there hooping, talking as people. No ego, no stunting on nobody. We all playing basketball. I'll rip that nigga. You know what I'm saying? I'll get it in on Wale. You know what I'm saying? I can't, he can't fuck with me out there. But like, nice guy, very easy guy to get along with, very easy guy to talk to. But it seems like, and I don't know Lupe, but a lot of people say, similar things about both guys. It seems like sometimes the perception of these guys gets in the way of people consuming their music. Right. What do you think about that?
I think like Wale is a special case. Like I think since J. Cole jabbed him on that record last year, was 2 years ago. Yeah. Was it what's the
They
name?
good now though.
Yeah. But what was the name of that record? Fake,
False Prophets?
False Prophets, yeah.
That was that Kanye though, right?
But he also had a verse for Wale. But I think ever since then, he's been stepping it up. Like this year, his EP.
Fire music.
Yo!
And even the last album, fire,
yes.
The music is fucking fire.
The music is there. I don't know.
What the nigga gotta do? No, I'm serious, bro. I'm not just going in on my bag because I know this guy.
Right.
If you ask Wale, he would not say that we are friends, right?
Right.
It's a guy that I know. Might shoot him a text every now and again. But sometimes I get in my bag and my feelings when niggas put out shit and the shit don't work.
You know what's funny?
It's not that it don't work, that people don't like come to
people
it.
are full of shit. The homie Rob Markman, shout out to Rob, right?
Shout out to him.
He said
he can rap too.
Yeah, he's good. He's all right. But he said something that was really profound to me. He said that people say they want like black representation. They want this and that in the music. You know, we don't uplift the women and sisters. He put out Black Bonnie, a great record and video. Crickets. I mean, not to say it didn't, do what it was supposed to do on YouTube or, analytically, but I'm just talking about as far as impact.
As far as cultural conversations, yeah.
Where's the conversation?
Yeah.
Where are the think pieces for Black Bonnie?
Yeah.
Like, he's trying, man.
He's giving you what you, and by the way, it's not like he's giving you that because he's trying to artificially sort of, like that's how he feels.
Exactly. He's giving you exactly what people are asking about. Not necessarily like, like you said, artificially. I feel like he's being genuine with his art, but the response isn't there.
Yeah.
But like you said, I don't know what he got to do. Maybe he got to come to TMZ and,
That's it. Do something crazy. Come in here and say, and make some off-color comments about the history of Black America.
That's what he has to do.
What about Lupe, man? I thought Lupe was, here's the thing. In 2009, 2008, I thought Lupe was headed for this top 10 argument that we're talking about.
Really?
I don't
Based off what album?
Okay, first of all, I think Food and Liquor was amazing.
Yeah.
I think The Cool was even amazing. And by the way, even if The Cool wasn't amazing, even if you think The Cool was something of a step back, there is a point in the history of Lupe Fiasco where he has amazing verses.
Who thinks The Cool is better than Food and Liquor?
Okay, cool. Well, then all right then. I think The Cool is also fantastic. And then it just seemed like something happened.
I think he just got caught in label purgatory. He did put out Lasers. That was afterwards, right?
Lasers I liked, but not as much as those others.
And just I think he just got caught lost in that shuffle. Trying to go against the label. Leor Cohen coming outside Atlantic Records with the boombox. Remember that happened?
Yeah.
He just got caught in like label purgatory. But he's still putting out music. I just don't know if it's really still. I know he put out an album this year, but I didn't.
You didn't even listen to.
I didn't get a chance.
You're not even fucking checking for Lupe.
I'm not. No offense. There's nothing wrong.
I listen to it, like the albums Lupe been putting out are dope, bro. He gets a little bit more experimental than he used to, but it's really dope music.
I think he's getting too abstract for me, man.
Like you're over it?
No, just the music. Like the lyrics might just be a little bit over my head. I don't think I could listen that. I'm that smart.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I like Lupe though.
I like that when to me, I always felt like, I get Lupe and that's cool. But I always felt like it's up to the artist to make the art relatable. And like every once in a while you meet a dude that's like a fan of some rapper that like is all complex and they go, yo, dog, I know you don't get it. That's just you don't understand it.
That's how it was with Wale for a long time. And, we've hashed that out. I felt like when he rapped, I used to get lost in translation. Like he would say the bar and then it would just go somewhere else with it. I was like, wait, I'm still here.
Right.
And I think that's where my disconnect with him came from. But he's gotten way better since then. So
and he can rap.
He's going in, man.
Yeah, he's doing his thing.
Word.
So I want to ask you about something.
What's that?
That I noticed about you.
Okay.
B.Dot is conservative.
Am I concerned? Where's my Magna hat?
B.Dot is conservative.
You are far left.
I wouldn't say that I'm
far left.
I wouldn't say that I'm far left. I would say that I have a lot of principles that are rooted in tenets of liberalism.
Okay.
Yeah, of course. But you are a little bit conservative, and I, to be honest with you, have been wanting to have someone that I identify as a conservative on the show besides Josh Denny, the dude that fucking used the N-word on the show. You know what I'm saying? Like, you bring a conservative on the fucking show,
right,
and the white boy says the N-word, because it's weird. That's a weird moment. And he was wilding out on Twitter today.
Wow.
Like, Josh Denny, the dude who said the N-word on the Red Pill podcast, on Twitter said this today.
Yeah, you were really upset with him.
I wasn't really upset with him. I just asked a simple question. I'm gonna ask you this since you're a conservative and you probably hang out with him.
I'm a conservative.
So this is what he said today. Josh Denny said in regards to Kevin Hart. He says, conspiracy theory. Maybe the real Roseanne and I concocted this whole Kevin Hart controversy to see what happens when you make black people and gay people play by their own rules for comedy. Black people and gay, and I asked him, all I asked him was, yo, I'm black. What are the rules? Tell you know what I'm saying? Tell me what the rules are. We're going to get to Kevin Hart in a second, but do you think that you're more of a conservative guy?
I guess. I mean, I'm a man. I just believe in I'm a fan of traditions and morals and ethics. So I think that makes me a conservative, I guess.
You don't think that liberals have?
I have some liberal views on certain things. I'm liberal on certain things. I'm liberal, conservative on others.
Let me ask you this. That's actually the right way to be honest with you. And I'm conservative on some issues. I'm a big gun guy.
I like guns.
What I mean? I'm a 2A guy. I'm from Louisiana, so you know.
BR, right?
Yeah, BR.
Baton Rouge.
So you know, I definitely grew up in a community where there's some conservative views, and they rubbed off on me a little bit. What do you think? Because I see that you follow guys like that guy, the Civil Right.
Yeah. Shout out to him.
Yeah. Like he dissed me one time on he dissed me one time on Twitter.
People get at you, but I be defending you sometimes.
Let me tell you something. I tell anybody out there that's from the black community the same thing. It's up to you to hold me accountable. So if you think I'm wilding out, if you think I'm doing something that's not authentic, I'm never, ever, ever going to have a bone to pick with a brother or a sister that has something to say about myself.
I think we all entitled to our opinions, man.
For sure.
You know, so it goes both ways.
Yeah. So do you think, though, like what issues would you say that you are conservative on? Because I saw you do this one thing where you poked fun at black liberals.
Yeah.
Like you have what issues do you have with black liberals?
Black liberals, man. Oh man.
Talk to me. Like what issues do you have with black liberals? I'm
gonna get fired after this.
Why would you get fired? See, like I'm not trying to get you in no trouble. I'm just asking because you know we're having a conversation. Like what issues? Because I will say this going forward. As we build systems in the black community, we have to have an understanding of not what's trendy for us, but what works.
Right.
And so we're going to have to consider thoughts from all over the political spectrum. And that doesn't mean that we shout down any voices. We're going to have to listen to what some people think. I'm never going to fuck with Trump. But just because I believe that goes against us. But like what issues do you have with black liberals?
Let me think of some.
And you're not the only one, by the way. Like we've been having this black liberal conversation.
Like for instance, I just had this conversation today about the boycotts. Remember earlier this year?
What boycotts?
Like you know, we're canceling H&M. I went to H&M the other day. There was so many black people in there. Yeah. So it was like a Kwanzaa celebration, man.
This motherfucker.
We're not fucking with Starbucks. We're canceling. Man, shut the fuck up.
Right.
You just got a macchiato the other day, man. What are you talking about?
Right.
So it's just a lot of hypocrisy, man. Like, people ride when it's convenient, not all the time, and that shit bothers me.
We talked about this as it has to do with the NFL boycott.
Right.
I remember us going back and forth on this. And this was one of the reasons why I was like, B.Dot got to come on the podcast.
Yeah.
So you think the only way to have the only way for the NFL players to effectively use their voice in the NFL is to not play?
Yeah. I feel like the only way you can effectuate change is with an economic disruption. That's it. Economics, period, is what makes the world go round. I referenced when we had that conversation, it was on Instagram.
Yeah.
I referenced the Montgomery bus boycott. I'm about to go deep on y'all.
Sure.
And in the 1950s,
they
right?
They walked to work.
Yeah, they walked to work.
Yeah.
They damn near bankrupted the bus company because they was like, you know what, we're being disrespected, and until you respect us, you can't respect our dollars. We're walking to work.
But your metric is off, right?
What do you mean?
They walked to work, but they went to work. See, the NFL players, they're at work. So if we're going to recreate the Montgomery bus boycott, you know what we would have to do? Not watch the NFL.
Well,
so
I think
but
it takes a community, right?
I get it, right? So what I'm saying is that the guys that are playing in the NFL, they're playing in the NFL, and sure, you know, it might affect the league if they didn't play. But the Montgomery bus boycott was those people not taking the transportation that they were taking to work, right?
Right.
So they affected the dollars by changing the mechanism by which they got to the place they were going to go make money. For us, if we just changed the way we got entertainment on Sundays, then maybe we could force the league to change to make some change.
But for all the players that support Kaepernick, they hate the NFL. They're playing in the NFL, but they hate it at the same time. Imagine if all of them just walked out. I'm just saying. Let's just say if they just said, you know what, fuck this. You guys aren't playing fair. We're not playing on Sunday. I guarantee you, the next Sunday there will be Colin Kaepernick will be starting for whatever team he wants to.
I agree with that in terms of other sports. Let me tell you why it's a little bit more problematic in football. There was a football strike in 1988, right? They played the games with replacement players. People still came to the games. Football has a team concept and a team dynamic that is a little bit different for people. People really. Whereas you go to the Laker games and people they're rooting for LeBron James and Kobe Bryant. People are rooting for the Chicago Bears and the New Orleans Saints. A little bit more in football. I do agree with what you're saying, though, but this is what I would say. It's possible that the football players in the NFL think that the league is not a totally racist league, thinks that there are problems with the league, and would like to address those problems to change it. And so having those conversations on big, huge forums might just be a better way to open up that dialogue. Couldn't it be that rather than just, I quit?
I think we know what the problem is, and it's not changing. Right. So how long until, the environment changes for something to happen? Right. We know what the problem is, but, people are burning the candle on both ends. They want to take a knee and take $1 at the same time. To me, I don't believe in that. I feel like you just got to ride all the way.
Right. Have you been watching the NFL?
I've never been a big football guy.
Right. So ever, nigga, you're not even in this motherfucking fight.
Nah.
Because this nigga here ain't sacrificing nothing. I watched one Saints game the whole year, and I actually had to do a public mea culpa and let everybody know that I watched that one game. This nigga B.Dot talking all of this shit. He not even sacrificing anything.
I ain't sacrificing
the Saints
shit.
is in number one in first place, and I can't watch him. But I guess to my point is that what you talked about earlier is, to me, the actual difference between us and our ancestors is, and excuse me, I'd say our forefathers or the generation before us, is that they were willing to go without
sacrifice
to have something better. Now, if they're willing to walk to work and carpool to work, and we're not willing to change the channel on Sunday, the bottom line is that they were greater than us. And also,
I agree.
The stakes were higher as well. At least they seemed higher. But to me then, what do you think Black Americans need to do to affect change to their communities?
I think it starts at the home. I'm like a bootstrap economic kind of guy.
What does that mean?
Pull yourself up by your bootstraps, make things work.
Pull yourself up by your bootstraps, huh?
You're gonna blame the white man for it?
I'm not blaming the white man for it. There's no need to blame.
No, but I believe things start at home. I think baggy clothes aren't cool anymore, right? Who said that? Who made it uncool? I'm just using it as an analogy, right?
Lil Wayne.
Okay, but I'm just saying is that, you see that mentality? Like if you have a 5X t-shirt, you're like, what are you doing? We need to have that kind of mentality when it comes to things that matter. Right. And I think as a collective, Black people, once we start doing that, we're going to be better off.
So do you feel like wearing baggy pants or a 5X t-shirt
I'm just saying,
disqualifies you from being able to have an intelligent thought?
No, it doesn't. I'm just saying is that's not the trend. Like it doesn't look cool anymore. You look crazy. You know, if I came up here wearing a dashiki and an afro and bell-bottom pants, you'd be like, well, yo, where did you park the time machine? You know what I mean? Where's the DeLorean?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying is that we make certain things uncool. We make certain trends pop. We need to do that when it comes to things that are really important, which to me is like economics, education, things like that.
Don't you think it's hard to pull yourself up by your bootstraps if you don't have any boots?
Oh man, you sound like you've been on Instagram too much.
I'm asking you. I'm asking you. Listen, I and this is another thing that I believe in. I believe multiple things can be true.
Yeah.
It can be true that you need to work a little bit harder.
Yeah.
It can be true that you need to work a little bit smarter.
True.
But it could be also can be true that there is a system in place that is benefiting from and counting on you being in a certain economic and social position. And I don't feel like sort of acknowledging either one of those things makes the other thing invalid. And I think sometimes people say, choose. Okay, either you're going to, I got where you're at right now through hard work. I got through where I'm at right now through hard work. But at the same time, I know a lot of people in similar situations to me that came up in such fucked up environments that we're taking their ability away. They would have to have been so exceptional that we're taking their ability away to kind of do that. And I feel like to kind of be productive members of society. And I feel like there are things that we should do as an American sort of society to bridge those gaps.
Yeah, I agree. Listen, everyone's situation is different. You know, I don't believe every situation is unique, right? Yeah. So I agree to that point. You know, I'm not going to disqualify you because, you know, you came from this situation. I'm not saying you can't persevere. What I'm saying is that you don't have to be a victim of your circumstance. Never. You know what I mean? To persevere and you know get ahead in life. Never. That's just the way I look at things.
I feel you. When you're at these meetings with the rest of the Republicans, do y'all like
the Republicans?
Like when you're hanging out with like when you hang out with Candace Owens?
Yes.
Does like
I never met her in my life. I want to meet her one day.
You do? You like her?
I think she's cool. I think she.
You think she's cool?
Yeah. Why?
Why? What's cool about her?
I think I like the way she thinks.
I like the way she thinks. You like the way she thinks?
I think she's very articulate. She's fluid in her thoughts. She's lucid when she speaks.
You don't think that she's sort of, first of all, never had a personal conversation with Candace Owens, so I don't know what's in her heart.
Right.
But I do think that Candace Owens is in the Jason Woodlock school of Negro attack dog.
How so?
I think that
Jason just don't like nobody, though.
Yeah, that's true. You're right about that. I think that Candace has good ideas on victimhood. First of all, she talks about having a Blexit and black people leaving the Democratic Party, which is fine. But I don't know that there's ever been anything sort of articulated about what the Republicans are going to do to solve the problems in the black community. Maybe there has been. Maybe I need to look more into it. And at the same time, there hasn't also been any talk about why the Republicans aren't courting these black votes, why she has to do it. If there needs to be a Blexit, and I've talked to different Southern black Republicans about this, if there has to be a Blexit to the conservative, why aren't they going into neighborhoods where they could actually cultivate black votes and talking to these people about their problems and about how they're going to solve them?
I think there's a stigma, probably. I'm not a Republican, by the way, but you know, to your point,
I know you're not.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying, but I just think there's a stigma that comes with, you know, being a Republican or identifying with that political party for whatever reason that may be. Maybe they need a specific candidate that speaks directly to their issues. And especially in the communities that we come from, it's predominantly Democrat. Like your mama's mama was a Democrat. You know, she voted for, you know, Michael Dukakis in '88. You know what I'm saying? Like,
pull that name out there. You don't even know that one. Pull that name out there.
But I'm just saying, like, it's almost ingrained, you know. So
I get it, bro. I mean, listen, man. I was expecting you to really have your Trump hat on today.
With my Trump hat? Yeah, it's in the car.
Do you fuck with Trump?
I don't think about Trump.
Do you like Donald Trump?
What do you mean? Like, I don't know him to not like him. I don't care for him. I don't think about him. But like, I don't care who's in office, whether it's Trump, Obama, whomever. Like,
but Trump doesn't bother you with some of the things that he does? Not at all?
I don't care. Like, to be honest, Trump is the last of anyone's, it should be the last of certain people's concerns. I think change starts on a local level. Everyone since 2015 has become a political scientist. But they're the same people that hate Trump. But I guarantee if you ask them, who is your state senator or your local congressman, you know, who's your councilman? They probably won't even know. Yeah. But you're worried about Trump?
Yeah.
Like, no, it starts on a grassroots level.
But do you don't think, like, once again, I think two things can be true. First of all, most people definitely should be involved in their state and local governments. But you don't think that having a demagogue of that, and let's just call it what it is, having a demagogue of sort of to that degree in the White House is particularly dangerous? I mean, I'm not one of these people that believes that the problems of America begin and end with white supremacy, but there's a chance that the problems with America begin and end with white supremacy. And if Trump in any way is dog whistling to those people, you don't think that's an issue?
Listen, I don't know if he's necessarily dog whistling to him. Dog whistling to those specific factions, and maybe he is. But who was dog whistling to the guy that killed James Byrd in 1998? Was it Bill Clinton? Because they decapitated this man in Jasper, Texas.
Yeah. And
what I'm saying, my point is that white supremacy is going to be around no matter who's in office.
Sure, but it depends on whether or not it's powerful, though, right?
Well, it doesn't get no more powerful than the president.
And the president, I know what I'm saying right now is in this particular situation that we're talking about in terms of Donald Trump.
But it's not my thing. I'm not capable for Trump. I'm just being honest.
Yeah.
It's just like white supremacy is going to exist no matter who's in office. It existed during Obama's reign. It existed during Bush. I think the difference now, as opposed to back then, is that social media and technology has enabled everyone to, capture things in real time. It gets to shows the ugly side of America. In 2018, everyone can make a Zapruder film.
Yeah,
and that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
So when you talk about Trump, I don't care about Trump. When he won, I was like, okay, cool. I got to go make $1.
When he won, I felt away.
You did?
Yeah. And the reason why I felt away, then to move off Trump because we talk too much about Trump.
It's
in America.
okay.
No, I'm just saying the reason why I felt away, I felt two ways. One way I felt, and these two ways are diametrically opposed. The first way I felt was, how could they do this? How could Americans vote this guy into office? Right? Then the second way I felt was, I felt completely vindicated. And the reason why I felt vindicated was because there was a part of me that sometimes I press deep down that believes that it's true that people don't give a fuck about black people. And people don't give a fuck about gays and lesbians, and people don't give a fuck about minorities. It's a part of me that really believes that they really don't care. That at the end of the day, that there's people who want to maintain the American status quo, and that if given the opportunity to do that covertly, they will. And there's not a better covert way to do that than in the ballot box, because no one sees what you can do.
Right.
So all they needed was somebody that they could secretly support, right? Because like a lot of people, it took more than just the people with MAGA hats on Twitter or on the news to elect Donald Trump. It had to be more people than that. So a lot of the people that you think, and this is to everyone listening, that you might be cool with, you might actually even do a podcast with, or a lot of those people are Trump supporters. They are. And they wouldn't admit that they're Trump supporters because they think that it would offend you. Now, they might be Trump supporters for all kinds of different reasons. They might be Trump supporters because they feel like Obama didn't really have a plan to get the economy back on track as fast as possible. There might be a whole bunch of reasons why might not be race with them.
True.
But what I will say is that I'm not only wary of people that do things for racist reasons. I'm wary of people that do things without thinking of racist reasons. Meaning, if your economic advancement to you is more important than something that I feel like puts my life in danger, I don't really want to fuck with you. I can't really say that definitively that the election of Donald Trump has put our lives in danger as black men.
The way I see it, though, Donald Trump is not the boogeyman. Not to me, at least. I don't care. Whether he gets impeached, resigns, loses.
He's not the boogeyman.
Because I got to go outside. I got a daughter to take care of. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, bless her. How old is she?
She's 5.
Oh, okay, cool.
I got a daughter. You know what I mean? Like, I got responsibilities. You know what I mean? Like, no matter who's in power, I got to go outside and get it. One thing I will say, though, about Donald Trump, and this is my personal opinion, that I think it's a silver line that I did like. I like the fact that he's president because it showed that anything's possible in America. People laughed at him saying, "No, he's not gonna win," and then he won.
Yeah.
Like, that shit is crazy. Like, it's Donald Trump. He beat out, Hillary Clinton and all these other seasoned politicians.
Yeah.
It showed me, it was like, yo, anything really is possible in America.
Yeah.
You could be president. Who says Van can't be the mayor?
I'm not saying I can't be the mayor. B.Dot. What? It seems like you're saying I can't be the mayor.
But I just think
I might pivot at any moment here, man. I'm riding a wave.
I'm just saying, there's just that idea of someone saying you can't do something and actually saying, okay, watch this. And winning, that to me is inspiring, though.
Inspiring.
It is inspiring in some cases.
I wouldn't say that it's inspiring, but I do understand what you're saying.
His win, and I'm not saying. Well, that's another thing too. Rappers are hypocrites, man. Everybody.
Here we go.
Everybody was a Donald Trump fan,
but we didn't know. Like they didn't know.
You didn't know.
I talked to Russell Simmons about this at a party maybe like
that's
2015.
bullshit, man.
Listen, I didn't know that Donald Trump had. Listen, this is what I'm telling you. When Donald Trump started doing the birther stuff, that's when I was like, yo, is this motherfucker a racist? And when the birther thing is a racist movement, there hadn't been any sort of movement. I don't give a fuck what anybody says about Donald Trump. Oh, he's not a racist, he's a great guy. The birther movement is a racist movement. There hadn't been any president to have his lineage and his parentage called into question until like, come on, dog. And so the birther movement was a racist. And that's when I started to, but you know, sometimes we have a different opinion about Bill Cosby now than we did 10, 15 years ago. It's because we know more.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so like, but I will say this. A lot of rappers used to fuck with Donald Trump.
A lot of rappers fuck with Donald Trump. They referenced him in the music. They was hanging out with him. He was on albums. He was on Method Man's album. Yeah. He was on mixtapes. Right. Everyone was a Trump fan. Now all of a sudden, my thing is that you don't become a racist overnight.
Right.
So in the Central Park, people often reference that the Central Park Five that happened in '88 or whatever the '80s, whatever year it was.
Yeah.
That's common knowledge.
I didn't know about that though.
Okay.
But that's also, I'm not from New York.
Right.
I knew about the Central Park Five, but I didn't know that Donald Trump had anything to say about it.
Yeah, he had took that ad out in New York Times, I think it was, about it. But all I'm just saying is that the information was there, and no one gave a fuck. And I think it is kind of trendy to say, you know, fuck Trump, blah, blah, blah. And if that's how you feel, cool. You're entitled to how you feel.
Yeah. You don't have any problem with black people who support Trump?
No. Well, why? I don't care. Like, it's not about me. It's about I'm not trying to circumvent the question.
No, I get it.
But it's I just don't care. I care more about on a local level.
Okay.
I like what Obama represented, the idea of a black man in office, considering the lineage of
talking about everything that's possible.
That's
Donald
crazy.
Trump being president, getting $1 million from his dad and going to Yale and all of that stuff. That's actually kind of happened before.
Sure, yeah, nepotism and all that stuff.
But what hadn't happened before is the black son of a single mother coming from a state like fucking Hawaii. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That made me believe that anything is possible.
That's crazy. Like
Not
Obama being a black man, and like when you think about America, like
being the editor of the Law Review at Harvard, man, doing his thing.
Whether you like Obama's policies or not,
and you didn't.
What?
I'm calling you out. You said whether you like him or not.
No, I'm just saying. I
get it.
Just the idea of him, like that's crazy.
It's amazing.
But I don't care if a black person like you're entitled to your opinion. Why? Why are you shaming people, Van?
Who did I shame?
Black people that like Trump.
Hey man,
why are you shaming
listen,
them?
I'm gonna tell you where I've come.
You're the problem.
Maybe so. I'm gonna tell you where I've come. This is where I've come. I used to be super mad, bro. I used to be super jammed up. Maybe it was because of Ye. I used to be super jammed up against anybody that I thought was a Trump supporter. You know what I'm jammed up about?
Angry
now?
black man?
I was so mad, bro. Cause like I'm from the South, so I see real handprint racism all the time growing up. I'm like, how could you guys even align yourself with something like this halfway? Do you know what I'm super excited about and jammed up now? Doing this fucking work and not giving a fuck about what the other side. When I say the other side, I don't mean white people, I don't mean Trump supporters. I mean people who are not for freedom, justice, and equality. I'm excited about doing the work.
And not hashtagging.
And rebuilding black communities, creating new systems in black communities, and figuring out financial freedom, like the man says, our only hope, figuring out how we get to that. And working with like-minded people, no matter what background they come from, but just people that care whether or not kids growing up in my community have a fucking pot to piss in.
Right.
Because the reality is this. This is the reality. The reality is that there's a concept called capitalization. Capitalization basically means that we're taking advantage of the talented people that we have, right? We're capitalizing on the talent. What Americans don't know that they're clouded by racism, they're clouded by sexism, they're clouded by all of these things, is in these hoods where niggas is dying, there are so many unbelievably talented, worthwhile, contributing people to society that are getting ran off the road about all of these societal ills. And America could be a better society. We could have a more functioning economy. We have more doctors, more lawyers, more fucking plumbers, man.
Right.
More everything. But we're losing a huge chunk of it because of some bullshit.
Right.
And so I'm about that. And not about being mad at Donald Trump. I mean, I'm serious. I've moved past it. So
Right.
I know you got to go.
It's all good.
I'm going to ask you a couple of more hip hop questions.
Let's talk about it.
One rapper you...
Can I take my magma hat off now?
Shut the fuck up, man. B.Dot, listen. B.Dot is some people claim to be free thinkers. B.Dot is a true free thinker, which is why I want to have him on here. I just want to know more. Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
You keep saying magma, by the way.
Yeah.
Magma is fucking in a volcano.
MAGA.
You see,
I'm from New York.
You can't be a Trump supporter. You don't even know how to say it.
MAGA, magma.
This nigga's got a lava hat on.
Jamba. Mama.
Rapper you haven't interviewed that you want to.
There's been a lot of... I've interviewed a lot of rappers, but I want to interview them now. Like, it's the circumstances.
I'm not talking about dead
difference.
niggas either.
No, like, so right now, like, I want to do Drake, Kendrick, Cole. I want to do another Jay-Z interview probably a little bit down the line. But, you know, I think the Nicki, the big names.
So nobody interviews Drake, not really?
Nobody.
Okay, so we're going to do an interview right now.
Okay.
I'm Drake. I'm Drake. What does he do? He does this. What is this? Is this the Drake thing?
I think that's a gang sign.
No, I don't know.
Like,
rolling like yeah. I'm Drake. Yeah. So interview me. Like what? Let's say I'm Drake. You got. Ask me what would you ask Drake?
Oh my! Now you putting me on the spot.
Not putting me on the spot. Just what we shooting the shit.
Okay.
It's OVO. I'm gonna say something at first. I asked Drake. I'm gonna say this real quick. Yo, man. You know, I'm just happy that you had me here on Rap Radar podcast today because I really wanted the chance to speak out because I know that I let LeBron James down when I didn't respond to Pusha T, and I never want to let LeBron down. He's a hip hop historian. I never want to let LeBron down. So, you know, anything I can do to get back in his good favor, you know, OVOXO, your girlfriend at my next show. So yeah, man, appreciate it. Elliot's not here today. He had something else to do.
That's a pretty good impression.
It was a light-skinned niggas convention, and I didn't get the invite. So B.Dot, I appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
So what are you gonna? The one question you would ask Drake.
The one question I would ask Drake. Whose wifey did you take out to St. Bart's?
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. Maddie not deep enough on this hip hop right there to get that. That's a good one.
It sounds spicy though.
It's very spicy. Yeah. Listen, man. B.Dot slips the spice in.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, B.Dot sprinkles the spice in. They talk about all kinds of things, and then B.Dot will come up with some spicy shit. You don't think that Drake hasn't sufficiently explained the Ghost Rider situation?
I think he's touched on it. You know, Drake doesn't do too many interviews, so it's like whenever he does an interview, it just has to be impactful. But he's addressed it at various times. I don't think that disqualifies him. I think
you don't.
I don't think he has it. Like no one's here, Drake. You know, writing on a piece of paper, giving him a song. Like Drake has a lot. We talked about it earlier. He has a lot of songs.
He does.
Who was writing them shits?
I'm not saying it does, but I'm saying he talks about hip hop purists and moving the conversation beyond Drake. He's the biggest rapper in the game, so we're going to talk about him. Moving the conversation beyond him, do you feel like it's a hip hop purist thing to want rappers to write their own bars?
Yeah, I mean, Drake does write his. I think it's more of a collab. I don't think no rapper writes everything 100%.
Right.
Like it's collaborate. People in the studio, the ideas are flowing, being exchanged. I don't think he's exempt from that. What's the problem?
Yeah.
I don't think no one is like writing down in a composition.
So you think that whole thing has been overblown
Absolutely.
a little bit? Yeah.
You know, someone's writing down on some loose leaf paper. Here, Drake, say this. Like
there were reference tracks that came out on songs.
Yeah, but I don't think it's like deliberate whole songs. Like some of my favorite, like you think someone wrote "Stay Scheming" for Drake? That verse?
Nope.
Or Aston Martin? No,
I think he's written plenty for other people.
He has. The timestamp records, those are some of the Drake's best performances on.
Yeah.
Like, come on, no one's doing that. Man.
Yeah. I just think it's something that I think it actually moved him away from maybe it changed his perception of himself a little bit, maybe, because he thought maybe he wanted to be up there with Pac and Big and the rest of those guys, and when everyone was like, maybe we never gonna put you up there now, which I'm not even saying is true.
Nah,
maybe
he's there, man. He's there.
Do you think Drake is on the Mount Rushmore with Pac? You think?
Well, Mount Rushmore is only 4 people, right?
I know it's true. You think that? So you say Drake is top 10? Would you say he's top 5 yet?
Depending on the day, definitely top 10. I don't know if he's top 5 because the first 4 already solidified.
You put Drake ahead of Eminem?
Yeah.
Is Eminem losing the luster? I've never heard this much negative Eminem talk.
I don't think he's not. I'm kind of biased to Eminem and Paul Rosenberg because
they're your friends.
No, but Paul was the co-owner of the website with Rap Radar with Elliot, and he kind of like changed my life. So even if I'm critical of Eminem, I'm very sensitive to.
I don't have any.
No, I know. I'm just saying. Yeah. I told that line that we talked about earlier.
Yeah, I got it.
But hey, you're entitled to like the old stuff or the new stuff. That's just the way I see it, man.
I fuck with Eminem.
I think we all do.
It just seems like a lot of people. I'm just hearing a lot more. Like, yo, Eminem is trash. I'm like, really?
Eminem's not trash. If you could say the new stuff isn't for you, that's fine. But I don't think you could say Eminem is trash. Like, come on, man. Yeah. Trash? No. But you could just say that the new stuff isn't for you. I'm fine with that.
Yeah. Bro, I gotta be honest with you, man. You deliver your hot takes in a way to where because you don't scream your hot takes. You don't go like, Volume 2 is the greatest Jay-Z album ever.
Yeah.
It makes it seem less hot, but that's a pretty fucking hot take.
Listen, I scream sometimes.
You do.
I might be at the Christmas party, you know what I mean? Give me a couple drinks in.
Is Nas top 5?
Absolutely. Nas, yeah. It goes, the top 5 in no order is Biggie, Jay-Z, Nas, Tupac. That's 4, right? And number 5 is always kind of like.
So Drake could be in there?
It depends on the day. Right. You know what I mean? But
Wayne?
Wayne's top 10.
Wayne's top 10?
Yeah.
So your top 10 must not have like Rakim.
Yeah, Rakim's in there.
Okay.
I actually made the list.
What's the list? Tell me the list.
Okay. No order.
No order.
Stay with me. So Biggie, Jay-Z, Nas, Tupac, Drake, Rakim, Kanye West, Lil Wayne. Who am I missing? Did I say Kendrick?
No, you didn't.
Kendrick Lamar and I'm losing somebody. Did I say Rakim?
I don't know if you said Rakim yet.
Well, if I said Rakim, I probably have it in my phone. I wrote it down, but
Jesus Christ, this guy's a fucking rap nerd. This guy's a rap nerd.
I wrote it down on my phone because these conversations come up all the time. Okay, so Jay-Z, Biggie, Tupac, Kanye, Nas, Rakim, Eminem, Drake, Kendrick, Lil Wayne. No order.
Drake, Kendrick, Lil Wayne. No order. Okay, I can fuck with that.
And that's based off of impact and everything else in between.
So you don't fuck with the South like you have.
Yeah, to me that's the most objective list possible. Like I have my own personal list. Like you're from BR. Boosie's one of my favorites.
Hey,
I love Boosie. And I'm not saying white me down. I'm talking about concentration camp.
Oh, so you go back. So you really do love him.
I fucks with Boosie, man.
Who's the greatest rapper in Southern hip hop history? Take Wayne out of it.
That's tough. Southern, man. I want to say maybe Scarface.
Scarface is up there. T.I. is up there.
T.I.'s there. Scarface probably got the
straight bars. The
don't say Andre 3000, none of that stupid shit.
He's the best rapper the South has ever produced.
Stop saying. I hate people like you, man.
Why?
Don't. If you want to say Andre, that shit pisses me off. I feel like the white guy that called us a nigga. Because you can't say.
Why?
If you say Andre, you gotta say Big Boy. Period. They're a package.
What are you talking about?
They're like Twix. You don't get one Twix, you get 2.
They don't rap in unison, but one Twix?
It's Outcast.
One Twix might taste better than the other one. But look, first of all, Big Boy is a fucking G. And Big Boy can rap his ass off. Andre 3000 is special. No?
No. Yes, they're both special.
Right. They're both special, but Andre, you can take one guy out of a group and he out of the NWA, Ice Cube was the best rapper, right?
Right, but look at Ice Cube's output.
Right.
Post NWA.
Sure.
Look, Andre hasn't done shit. Speaker Box, people want to say that it's just so, all right, fine.
I'm gonna be honest with you.
What are you gonna be honest about?
Speaker Box is better than The Love Below.
I agree.
Big Boys, I know y'all niggas out there, y'all don't want to admit this. Speaker Box, I'm not talking about just bars now. Speaker Box, Big Boy's solo part of that double is better than The Love Below. It is. I prefer Speaker Box to The Love Below. However, Andre 3000 is a magician with these motherfucking bars.
So what the fuck is Big Boy, like, you know, some little clown at your kid's birthday party.
No, Big Boy is a fucking G. I'm not gonna let you make me diss Big Boy.
But don't separate them.
I'm not gonna make it. How can you not separate?
You can't.
It's 2 different rappers.
Big Boy, listen.
It's 2 different rappers. One guy goes first, the other guy goes second. You're like, one guy goes second, the other guy goes first. Like, how many Outkast joints would you say that Big Boy had a better verse than Andre on?
I think they've always outdone each other. Sometimes Andre gets it, sometimes Big Boy gets it. I think that happens. But Andre his output hasn't been as prolific as Big Boy's. Big Boy's been putting out like 4. His last album was hot. But, you know, he doesn't get the props because I guess he doesn't dress and...
You boy, like, you are being blasphemous and
I'm being honest. How am I being... How?
Because you're saying that the only thing that separates Big Boy and Andre 3... Well, I don't know why this is about comparing them against each other. What I am saying is Andre 3000, bar for bar, is a crazy, crazy rap talent, man. You're saying that...
Man, I'm saying Big Boy, I think they're equally yoked.
So you think that Big Boy is as good as Andre?
Yes. Yes. Wow. I'm saying it on the Red Pill podcast.
Big Boy is as good as Andre. Wow.
Yes. I will die on this hill.
You will.
Yes.
This is a Styles moment.
Yes. I'm dying on it.
And I'm not even this is not even a diss to Big Boy because Big Boy is a G. Big Boy is fantastic.
Yes.
All right, I gotta ask you about this is the last question I ask a hip hop expert.
Yes.
This guy is my favorite rapper of all time.
Okay.
Bar none. This dude.
I thought it was Jay, no?
No.
Oh.
No.
What's your favorite?
Let's play a guessing game.
You're from BR. It's gonna probably be some obscure nigga from like New Orleans or Louisiana.
First of all, I gotta give
like Ford Webby.
But before I shout out to Webby. Before I talk about who my favorite rapper of all time is, I do want to say shout out to Young Bleed because that's Baton Rouge right there.
Of course.
And Young Bleed has always been an underrated MC. And shout out to all the guys that I've been listening to down there, the whole Cash Money No Limit situation, all of those guys. Shout out to P, who I had on this. But this guy is from Louisiana. It's not from Baton Rouge. He's from New Orleans.
Okay. I'm narrowing it down.
Okay.
New Orleans.
This is a New Orleans rapper, not on Cash Money or No Limit.
What?
Has never been signed with either Cash Money or No Limit. There's only like 2 rappers in the history of New Orleans that have never been signed to Cash Money or No Limit.
That's crazy. When you're born, you're signed to Cash Money or No Limit.
Exactly. If you
rap, a birth certificate.
Right. If you rap, it's either P or Baby that's signed your name in blood on your shit. He impregnated a very, very popular soul singer.
A soul singer from...
Yeah, she's not from Louisiana. She's from Dallas.
Oh. Wait, DOC?
It's the same lady. I can't believe you don't know the dude I'm talking about.
Wait, who he talking?
Jay Electronica.
Jay Electronica. Oh, wait.
Yeah, he has a baby with Erykah Badu.
That's right.
Yeah.
That nut.
It's funny that you went to DOC.
Because I'm thinking, I'm thinking about Jay Electronica, that fucking nutcase, man.
What, you don't like Jay Electronica?
I love Jay Electronica. I love Jay Electronica.
What, as a culture, do we have to do?
He's crazy.
To make Jay Electronica rap, bro. Like, when Jay, like, I feel like we should kidnap somebody and hold them for ransom to make Jay Electronica rap. Jay Electronica has some of the most insightful, some of the most lyrically inventive, some of the most ambitious. He has probably the most insightful 12 records that any rapper has ever had before. Bruh. Like he might have total 40 songs.
If that.
It might have total 40 songs.
He drops a song and a half every year. I call it at January 1st, it's a fact. He drops a song and maybe Mike does a hook or a feature somewhere. That's the half.
Right.
And then he goes away. I don't know, man. Jay Electronica he's amazing. He's a wizard. He's nice.
A fucking fantastic rapper.
But he's crazy, man.
Like, what the fuck?
I think he just gets caught up in his own self sometimes and just overthinks it. I heard a rumor. I don't know how true it was. I mean, you guys are TMZs because you know everything.
They don't fucking know who Jay Electronica is in that room. Nigga, what the fuck?
Yeah.
They have no fucking clue. Jay Electronica could walk in here right now.
Yeah.
Harvey would probably hand him the keys to the Porsche and ask him to pull that bitch around. They have no fucking clue who he is.
Yeah, let him do fucking donuts and the fucking Santa Barbara or something like that, and he'll be on the front page.
Exactly. They put him right on the fucking site if it's some black man fucking up. Hey, don't get me started on that shit. Niggas exhausted with that shit.
But I think with Jay Electronica, he's kind of neurotic, man. And like I said, I heard a rumor that he was supposed to put out an album this year and just overthought it and just decided not to.
Jay don't have no impact in that. He been there for fucking going on 6-7 years now.
Listen, man. I told Jay, drop this nigga in front of him. I said, drop him, Jay. He don't want to work. But
you told Jay, you told Jay to drop Jay Electronica in front of Jay Electronica?
Yes.
What the fuck?
But people look at me like I'm the little brother, so it's not a big deal. But I told him, like, yo, I'm kind of serious. Like, what the fuck? It's been 8 years. I saw him get signed at that event in New York City.
Where he came out with the FOI and all of that stuff?
No, that was at the Brooklyn Hip Hop Fest.
What event did he get signed at?
It was at an event called The Box in New York City. This was like 2011 maybe.
Yeah,
it was like a private, intimate affair, and Jay kind of gave a speech before he introduced him. But I was there for that. I don't know, man. You gotta find. He's in Detroit a lot, so maybe if you find him, choke him up, put him in the studio.
You have no fucking answers for me in Jay Electronica.
He's the man of mystery.
I've been fucking listening to the same fucking record.
What's your favorite record?
Oh man,
I like Exhibit A more than
Exhibit A is dope. Exhibit A is, you know why I like Exhibit A better than Exhibit C though? Because it's the first one I heard. Sometimes in rap, other people have recency bias. I have introduction bias. So everybody was talking about Exhibit C, but then I was playing Fight Night. Remember Fight Night?
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
I was playing Fight Night, and they had Exhibit A on there. And this nigga said, "Lambs get their plane shot down like John McCain." And I was like, that's a smart nigga rap verse. Because you got to know that John McCain got his plane shot down and stayed in the Hanoi Hilton. I'm like, that's a smart nigga rap verse. And then there was some...
My other favorite one on that record was when he said, I swam down Schitt's Creek and came out clean.
Like Andy Dufresne, you have to have seen Shawshank Redemption and know that Andy, that's the smart nigga rap. I love smart nigga rap.
Everyone literally swims down Schitt's Creek at one point in their life.
Right.
And then you come out, that was...
But he came up with the Andy Dufresne line. I'm like, okay. And then when I started listening to his shit, he had all of these, like, he had that Willy Wonka fucking sample.
Oh, yeah.
Beginning, the fizzy listing drinks and all of that shit. And I was like, yo, I love this guy.
Yeah.
But my favorite Jay Electronica song is probably Swagger Jackson's Revenge. It's either that or Anakin's Prayer. But he has some recent ones that I like too. He has
like the Walk to Perdition.
The Perdition is dope. Then he has Letter to Fallon.
Oh yeah,
that one's dope. And then what's the one with where the minister comes on at the beginning of that bitch? And then he has another one called
I know what you're talking about.
Into the Infinite or whatever.
Yeah,
these are all titles.
Infinite Sunshine.
Yeah, well, no, that's the Eternal Sunshine. That's the whole mixtape with Trolley Stop on there and all of that shit. But I've listened to all of these records so many times, and I'm like,
you better keep listening. You ain't getting nothing. Jay Electronica ain't put out no fucking music, man.
You don't think so?
No, no.
What are the chances that we get a Jay Electronica album in 2019?
Pretty slim, man. I think you get Trump here before you could get
Trump here at the Red Pill?
Yeah, at the Red Pill.
Oh, well, then there's no Jay Electronica coming out. There's no Jay Electronica. Listen, bro, it was a pleasure to have you up here, man.
Thank you, man. What have we learned? I think this is the most we've ever talked in real life.
Yeah, because I'll tell you something before we go. So we're on a group chat, right?
Yeah.
This is the group chat. The group chat is me, B.Dot.
Yep.
Shout out to Hovain.
Mm-hmm.
Kaz.
Yep.
Charlemagne.
Yep.
Okay. Then we have another one without Charlemagne.
We got one without you.
I know y'all have one without me. I know y'all have. You know why? Because these niggas consistently sun me and gang up on me in the group chat, and I know that y'all know that y'all doing it. Yeah, I say something. So in the group chat a couple of days ago, I said, "Yo, 2018 has been a banner year in hip hop." Charlemagne, who is nothing if not a contrarian. Go on Charlemagne's shit right now and say the sun is a pretty yellow outside. Charlemagne will be like, you sure that bitch ain't red? Are you sure, man? Yeah. I hate this new era. They're always thinking that the sun is fucking yellow, man. You know what I'm saying? And so I say that, and of course he has to disagree. Now, everybody on the group chat really should be agreeing with me because they all really think that this has been a great year in hip-hop. But no one wants to really be on my side. it's like they all been knowing each other. Look, B.Dot is shaking it.
You the black guy from TMZ.
So it's like rather than be like, nah, Charlamagne, you tripping, B.Dot went, it has been a good year.
I will say it's been a good year. It's been a good year overall, man. Like, despite whatever political ideas you have, I think this has just been a great year. Am I the last guest of 2018?
No.
Oh, shit. I feel like I'm closing it out.
You're close. No, this will be up tomorrow, but no,
Okay.
You're close, though.
But I feel like it's been a good year, though, man. I mean, music-wise, culture-wise, I feel like we're almost experiencing a renaissance.
I think we are. I think we gave birth to some really new cultural voices, some exciting times. I think we started for a long time, started getting a little money again, started getting a little traction again.
Yeah.
And, you know, what I want to see.
You got your blue check on Instagram?
I got my blue check on Instagram. Appreciate that. Appreciate you, yay. Like what I want to see, and I'm super proud of everything that y'all do.
Thank you.
I'll tune in all the time, every time. Like, I really did feel like I heard my name on the Rap Radar podcast, and I was like, oh, shit. I was like, damn. That's how you know. So I appreciate it. But I think there's so many different good, excellent, should I say, cultural outlets right now, cultural conversations happening. As long as we don't cannibalize each other,
I agree.
As long as we don't go through that stupid way of thinking that there can only be one person to give one perspective, we'll be straight. And I mean that even politically.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean that even politically. We need all ideas at the table so we
agree.
can find out which ones are the best.
I'm all about solutions and communication, man. That's just the way I roll.
Elliot hair naturally curly, or he use active?
Elliot's he goes by half sometimes because he's like a tragic mulatto.
He's
like,
okay.
I think his mom is Ecuadorian,
Okay.
I believe, in Greek,
Right.
and I think his dad is black.
Yeah.
So
that shit is naturally that kind of situation.
Got like a DeBarge situation.
The whole
going
DeBarge
on.
situation.
All of them.
You have to spend a lot of time with a light skinned nigga. What's that like? Sometimes you want to be like, yo, G, stop crying.
Yeah. I mean, but you know, Elliot and I, we work well together because, you know, I used to work for him at XXL.
Real quick, go through that real quick because I didn't get a chance to ask you about that. How did you guys click up?
All right, so real quick, I used to work at XXL. I was like staff writer. I was like low on the totem pole, and he was editor in chief. Did that for like 2 years until the recession hit. He got cut first, then I got cut, and then we just kind of reunited a couple months later. And he was like, I'm about to start a website. I was like, all right, you want to be down? Like, okay, I guess. I ain't got no job. So he said he's doing it with Paul Rosenberg, who's Eminem's manager. And he said, yo, we got this idea. It's going to call Rap Radar. I was like, the fuck is that? Like, and this is around the time of like 2008 when like Perez Hilton was popping. And
all of that shit was coming
all
up.
That blog shit was popping. And
SOHH.com.
there you go.
Yeah.
All hip hop. And we just wanted to have a voice in that space. Nah Right was leading. And we just kind of threw ourselves into it. And here we are 8-9 years later.
Plugging away and making amazing interviews and cultural moments.
And, you know, the podcast is just an extension of it. You know, Elliot's doing his thing at Tidal, and that's where you can find a podcast, you know.
Yeah, their podcast, Rap Radar Podcast. I know if you listen to my podcast, you've heard of the Rap Radar Podcast. Who y'all got coming up, though?
Actually, we are talking to Nipsey, I think, again this week.
That would be good to get him back.
Yeah, we talked to him about a year ago, and, you know, him winning the Grammy, and just he had a great year, so I think it's only right. We really have a victory lap with him, so.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Yo, Maddie, we out. I normally don't ask the white people in the room to clap after the podcast. Sometimes I do. But Maddie, you're the only remaining white.
The
one white in the room. So could you please do me a favor? Even though he leveled some crazy accusations on this podcast today, having to do with Jay Electronica, who's dropping a double CD probably at the end. Like, give it up for B.Dot. Seriously,
Thank
man.
you.
We appreciate you stopping by the Red Pill, bro.
If I get fired from my views, y'all better hire me.
I got you, bro. I got you. You'll be the new black guy at TMZ.
2 black guys. Thank you, man.